Sure.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
Bro Flying.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Burgundy and Gold fans, you know who it is, man. Your favorite Commanders podcast is back live in full effect. This is Held to the Culture. I'll be hosting tonight. It's your boy Young Rome 22 as always, man. And I see you fixing your nameplate over there, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir, man. We had some old settings in there. At Bryce XXV aka Mr. Big Leaguer. Man, we got some things to talk about. I know we keeping it quick tonight, but I got some things I gotta get off my chest, man. Commanders Nation, might need y'all to talk me off the ledge a little bit, so I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, man, we definitely got some big news to get into, man. We got to get into the game this weekend. We got the Raiders coming into town. But before we get to the Raiders, man, we got to talk about our starting QB situation because coming off this loss to the Packers, which was a little disappointing, looks like JD5 is a little bit hobbled, man. He hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday. Dan Quinn said that, they're going to give an update Friday on if he's able to practice, if he's going to be able to play Sunday. I got some thoughts on this too, man, but I know you said you wanted to get something off your chest, so let's talk you off this ledge real quick, man. What are you feeling?
No, we've been through a lot as fans. All right. Anybody that's been a Commanders fan over this last, I don't care if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, however old you are, however long you've been rocking with the burgundy and gold. You've been through a lot, my good friend, and you've been a good, strong soldier. And last year it felt like we was, entering a new era where the bullshit was behind us. But this Jayden injury got me worried, man. The amount of hits Jayden's taken through 2 games got me worried. Last season, he took a decent amount of hits, but it seemed like he had this way about him of avoiding the huge one. But I've seen some hits this young season, 2 games in, that are concerning, bro. And that Packers game, I always respect that he goes out on his shield, but it felt like some of them were unnecessary. I see my man flipping over. You know what I'm saying? I see my man running down the middle of the field, getting hip drop tackled. And honestly, bro, to me, I don't know if I sound crazy right here, but I was talking to my brother about this, who's another diehard Skins fan. It looks like Jayden's a little slower this year, bro. I don't know if that's just a consequence of him packing on a little more muscle in the off season, but he doesn't look like he's as quick as he was last year, bro. And to me, that doesn't bother me as much if he's lost a step in speed, because I still feel like he can be an elite passer, and that's really what you need. He would still be in the top percentile in the league when it comes to movement and when it comes to escaping pressure and all things like that, even if he was to lose a step. So I'm not really concerned about the fact that he's a little slower. But what concerned me that if he is a little slower, that might lead to even more hits. And bruh, I'm not trying to think about the past too much, but you know what this is starting to remind me of, Rome. I'm not even going to say those 2 letters that are followed by a number. All right, but it starts with an R and ends with a 3. All right, and I don't know, bro. The amount of hits in 2 games, I ain't liking it, bro. I ain't liking it, and I feel like the coaching staff, should be a little to blame for it. But Jayden's play style, he's always going to be Jayden, and I'm just a little worried about it, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, these are the concerns that I was bringing up when we traded Brian Robinson, and even last year when Jayden ended the season as the leading rusher. This is the exact reason why I said he can't be the main cog in the rushing attack. You gotta give the ball to more backs, to use your running backs way more, and alleviate some of those runs off Jayden. I know a lot of the runs that he does are also scrambles and not necessarily designed runs. Any way you want to slice it, though, man, Jayden Daniels should not be running the ball as much as he is. And I'm also concerned because it's so early in his career. We're only 2 games in the year 2. So I think they did a good job getting the O-line to protect him, but we're playing against some crazy pass rushers. I think Tunsil and Connolly both struggled against Parsons last week. The Raiders, Crosby is not exactly Micah Parsons, but he's a dog, and he could present some problems this week. So I could understand if Dan Quinn and the coaching staff is trying to err on the side of caution as far as this Jayden injury, because they know the area and a lot of fans like yourself have PTSD from the who era. So I think they understand that Jayden is the long-term future, and a lot of fans are looking at this year like it's a Super Bowl year, but Dan Quinn and Adam Peters, this is only their second year as well. They probably have a long-term plan, a long-term agenda. So if sitting Jayden Daniels for week 3 against the Raiders is necessary, that's fine. This is the week to sit him. But I do think we can still beat the Raiders, even with Marcus Mariota. And we'll get into that in a little bit, man. But as far as Jayden's injury, let's focus not just on the injury part, but let's talk about his play a little bit this year, because you already kind of touched on it with he looks a little slower after he packed on some weight. When I was watching some of the film, I'm not sure if it was necessarily the pressure that's giving him the jitters or if he's just missing some open guys. But there was a few times in the Packers game where he missed Terry on what could have been some big plays.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, like those things don't bother me all that much. I'm not really concerned about the play. I felt like Jayden may just be a slow starter. I mean, last year was a bit of a slow start, right? And then I would say after that, really after that first injury he had, after Mariota played, who was that versus
the Panthers?
Yeah, versus the Panthers. That's when Jayden really took off, right? So like, I'm not totally concerned about the play. I think he's seeing it good enough. And just some early season, knocking the rust off. Him and Terry didn't have an off season. I'm not too concerned with that personally. It seems like you might be a little bit though.
I mean, I'm not overly concerned with it, but I want to see improvements, right? Like what I've seen on film is the same Jayden that I saw last year, and I want to see him start to make certain strides. And also, man, what I don't want to see with any quarterback, really, when you watch, is if they're getting jittery before the pressure gets to him. Like I saw, and I know it's Michael Parsons, so I mean he's got a presence, right? And I just feel like Jayden was a little bit too quick to run and leave the pocket a couple times, which kind of leads to what you were saying about taking hits unnecessarily. I'd prefer if Jayden just got the ball out of his hands. Some of those runs, just throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes downfield. If you don't see the open guy, get out of the pocket and then just get the ball out your hands, as opposed to getting lit up for 5 yards, 4 yards. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you're getting the first down, but if it's a first or second down play and we're still got 10 to go, I think Jayden needs to do a better job of finding all his receivers. But that also kind of goes hand to hand in are the receivers getting open and the play calling from Cliff, which I know you were a little bit critical of last week as well.
Yeah, a little bit might be an understatement there. But I see what you're getting at now. And I feel like the reason I'm not as concerned as you are when it comes to that is because I didn't see that game one, right? Game one, I thought he escaped the pocket, kept his eyes downfield. I think of the big hit to Chris Moore, right? There was another one to Noah Brown, right, where he was able to move subtly in the pocket, buy a little extra time, and Noah ended up dropping it. But between those two plays, it showed me like, okay, he may have advanced in that area. I think that Thursday night, you coming off a short rest, right? But I think that Thursday night, a part of that was, bro, I'm just going to call a spade. Our rookie right tackle getting beat like a drum, all right? I mean, damn, and I'm I think I'm the biggest Connolly fan probably in Commanders Nation outside of Linnell Willingham before the season started. But, yeah, like, he was getting beat like a drum, bro. And Jayden had to think about that all night. I mean, if you look back at some of them plays, Tyler Biotis didn't put a finger on anybody. You know what I'm saying? You allowing free rushes right up the middle. It was a lot of free rushes, dog. And I get what you're saying about a quarterback being jittery in the pocket, but if you're getting free rushes left and right, it kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You're a little hyper aware of those rushers. So I see what you're saying, but because I didn't see it in both games, I'm not as concerned with that.
Yeah, no, I mean the O-line was a major concern in game 2, and you're right. Like, even though the Giants have some pretty good pass rushers, none of them are Michael Parsons, but they've got more than one, and the Packers do too. But the pass rushes didn't seem to affect the Jayden or the O-line nearly as much in game 1, and maybe it was coming off a short week. I guess all of it ends up falling back in the lap of Cliff Kingsbury. Because you're right. What was the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2? Yes, you had a slightly tough opponent as far as the pass rush is concerned, but it looked a lot different. It did look slightly different. You know what I'm saying? So you were able to handle the Giants with little to no problem, and then kind of got boat raced by the Packers as far as D line versus O line. So hopefully they get that corrected, because the Raiders D line is nowhere near as good as I think the Packers or the Giants as a whole. But I do think Max Crosby is one of the ones.
Yeah, bro, and that Packers game plan from Cliff was one of the worst 2 or 3 game plans, in my opinion, that he had come up with in his time as OC. He had a couple last year, especially early in the season, that were real questionable, and this one was along those same lines, right? Like, remember before the Giants game, man, you asked me like what I predicted or what I thought the best game plan would be, and I said quick game, right? And I wasn't mad at the Giants game plan. The quick game worked well enough. But it's like he literally copied and pasted the same damn quick game to the Packers game. And the problem with that was the Packers decided very early on in the game that they were going to play their corners and D backs close to the line, right? Basically telling you we're not going for none of the quick game behind the line of scrimmage, bro. But it's like Cliff did not realize that damn near until it was, the fourth quarter. Like, he kept trying to go to the quick game behind the line of scrimmage, bubble screen after bubble screen after bubble screen, and the shit was not working, bro. Like, he was supposed to start faking a bubble, quick slant on the other side, like simple shit like that to keep him off balance, which he started doing last season. Last season, you saw a lot of, we're showing bubble screen action to the right, or to the left, excuse me. We're coming back with a slant on the right where Jayden would look one way, fake like it's the bubble coming, and then go to the right. Or he would look one way like it's the bubble to the left, and then it's a screen to the back on the right side. But this game, it just felt like, we're going to stick with this quick shit till it works. And it never worked. This behind the line of scrimmage quick shit till it works. And it never worked, bro. I was really disappointed with Cliff's game plan. I thought it was weak, bro. I thought it was like scary. I thought it was like you coaching scary. You know what I'm saying? Like you're coaching like a scared coach. And that was very unimpressive to me, bro. Like, very unimpressive. And then we look on the other side of the ball, and the Packers are getting players wide open down the field, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, every damn player felt like somebody was wide open, bro. And to me, it's just like thoroughly outcoached, bro. Thoroughly outcoached in that Packers game more than anything. And I know we're going to blame it on execution, but Bill was averaging 4 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? He was averaging 4 yards a carry, but he ended with 4 carries. Like, what are we doing, bro? Why is he having over 4 yards to carry? He got 4. That makes no sense to me, bro. And even Dan Quinn said, like, he was not happy with the distribution when it came to pass versus run. But that's on the OC, bro.
Yeah, no, I think not even just Bill, because Cliff, I think, came out today. He came out today and said that for Bill to get more touches, or for him to get more playing time in general, he needs to do better when the ball's not in his hands. Talking about pass rush, pass pro, etc., like stuff like that. But to Dan Quinn's point, whether it's Bill, and to my point, really about Jayden being the leading rusher, whether it's Bill, whether it's McNichols, Rodriguez, now we know Eckler's out for the year now. But and they traded away B-Rob, but it's got to be somebody, right? Like, you need to run the ball more. That quick game the quick game that you're describing, that's not gonna work if you're not running the ball at all. Like, I don't remember the total carries, but the fact that Bill only had 4, and then we know Eckler couldn't have had too many because he got taken out the game. Like, they just didn't run the ball enough at all, and that gave them no threat. The Packers have a ton of good pass rushers. Like, they got at least 3 solid pass rushers on that team. And you're going to pass every down? You're going to play into their strength? Like, I agree with you, man. They were thoroughly outcoached on the or as far as offense and defense. And then as far as the Packers offense versus the Commanders defense, I've been questioning Joe Witt from the start. I'm happy that the brothers are getting a shot to be a defensive coordinator. It has not gone well, in my opinion. Last year, a lot of people kind of just chalked it up to, well, he doesn't have the guys to fit the scheme. So they went out, they got some guys that they say fit this scheme. I wasn't a big fan of the Will Harris signing. I tried to give Will Harris a chance. People after the first game were praising Will Harris a little bit, man. That brother cannot cover. Like, he got beat. Like first off, Kraft, they all week, all I've been hearing about Tucker Kraft. Oh, he's going to be a pro baller, all pro. This man had Tucker Kraft looking like Travis Kelce the other night, bro. Like, he kept biting on the run. Any play action, Will Harris's eyes in the backfield, playing the run, not paying attention to his man at all. And that's a huge problem for Joe Witt, who wants to play man coverage a ton. You cannot be getting faked out the way that Will Harris is getting faked out on play action if you're going to play man as much as they play. And then I also got to talk about my guy Lattimore, man. I was impressed with some of it, man. But like after the game, his comments, bro, like when they asked him about the flags and just how the game went, and he simply said something along the lines of, "Well, we played a lot of man and they ran a lot of man beaters." To me, that's not the excuse, bro. That's not like what is that? That's not meaningful to me, bro. Like y'all play a lot of man because they traded for you, who are supposed to be a shutdown corner. You're supposed to excel in man press coverage specifically. So them running man beaters isn't a reason to, like, y'all aren't going to stop running man. Joe Witt's going to run man coverage. He's going to blitz. They're going to do things like that. They're going to mix up coverages. But I just wasn't impressed by the secondary in this game. And not so much by the coaching, just as much as the execution. And I kind of put that on the front office and the DC, which is Joe Witt, because they said they got their guys.
No, they did say they got their guys, and we know the Packers week over, right? We're gonna move on to the Raiders here in a second, but I do just want to piggyback off that point you made about Marshawn real quick, because like I feel you, it felt real excusey, it felt real like a real excuse, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro. He was right, dog. Like, why are we like, bruh? When is it as a defensive coordinator? How long does it take you to realize, oh shit, all they doing is running man beaters? You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, it was one play. They motioned, I can't remember who, I think it was Romeo Doubs. They motioned Romeo Doubs over from the left side, right? We're in man, so everyone is up on their man. They motioned him from the left side, brought him all the way over to the right side before the snap. So you've got Marshawn Lattimore, who has to duck and dodge through his own players who are lined up in coverage before free snap.
Yeah. And then they just ran like a simple little out. Yeah, that play pissed me off.
Why don't we have a plan to pass these guys off? Right? You got him now. I'm staying on the slot now. You got him. Like, why is there no, like, bro, how are you not prepared for that? So I felt like low key what Marshawn Lattimore was doing was saying, hey, our scheme sucked for what they were doing. Like, real shit. Like, low key, in the lowest of keys, he was throwing Joe Witt under the bus. And, like, it was deserved, bro. And, I got to, before we get off this whole Packers shit, because we got to move on from the damn Packers, bro. I love Bobby Wagner, bro. But, dog, he's as big a liability in coverage as your man Harris is, all right? That Tyler Kraft, Tyler Kraft mac and cheese, big play from the slot, from the seam, bro. Bro, Bobby looked at that man and was just like, yeah, I ain't catching you, and just let him keep like what we doing here, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? At least get in the area a little bit, at least be a decoy. It was ugly, bro. It was ugly, and I felt like it was poor game plan, offense and defense. And with all of that, we were in the goddamn game, bro. With all of that, we was down 7 with the game in front of us, bro. They only scored 27 points. As bad as we played, like, we were down 7 points. We could have tied it and made it a real game, but, just horrible game planning, bro.
Yeah, and last thing on the Packers game, man, if Matt Gay would have made those kicks, both kicks were makeable. It's not like those kicks weren't makeable. It's really like a 3-point game. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are, acting like the Commanders are down and out or we got exposed or something crazy, but that game was a lot closer than the scoreboard indicated. The Packers didn't run away with it the way they wanted to. But like you said, week 2 is over, man. It's time to move on to week 3. We got the Raiders coming into town. I'm very interested to get your thoughts on this game. We'll give us, our score prediction here at the end. But give some of the keys to getting the dub in this one.
Dog, the number one key from the defensive side is don't get beat by the tight end 2 weeks in a row. All right. The Raiders watched y'all last week. They know Tyler Kraft beat the hell out of y'all, and they're gonna be like, our guy's a lot better than Tyler Kraft. Our guy's a lot better than Tyler Kraft, so he about to go off.
It's Tucker. Tucker Kraft.
Oh yeah, Tucker Kraft. Damn, bro.
Packers fans gonna hate him.
I'm just gonna call him Kraft, bro, right now. But yeah, our guy's a lot better than Kraft. So, like, what we gonna get a lot of Brock Bowers. That's what I'm getting at. All right. So, number one on the defensive side, contain Brock Bowers. All right. Number two, like Geno Smith is the type of quarterback where if you give him confidence early, he gonna beat you late, right? Get to Geno early. And last but not least, bro, like Ashton Genty has a potential to be a great player in this league, right? But the Raiders' O-line has looked terrible. And the reason Ashton Genty hasn't been productive so far this season, he's getting hit in the backfield over and over and over again. I better see that from our Commanders D-line. Like, let's show up, D-line. Javon Kinlaw, got to give him his props. He's been dominant this season, in my opinion. I need to see that same effort from that D-line that we saw in week one. And don't let Ashton Genty have his breakout game against you. I mean, it's really that. It's those are three keys to the game, bro. That's gonna be the keys to a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? It's like stop their best receiver, stop the running back, stop the court. I get it, but at the same time, like the Raiders are looking like a very beatable team, whether if it's Mariota or Jayden. You know what I'm saying? And like, don't be the team that the Raiders break out against. Is basically what I'm getting at. And it's going to start with Ashton Genty being stopped.
Nah, facts. I think look, the keys to the game, like you said, are always going to kind of be similar. Oh, we got a comment here.
Yeah, that's crazy stat, bro. He's got more yards after contact than rush yards. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, he's getting hit behind the line, play after play after play. Don't let this be the game where he's not getting hit behind the line, bro. Like, don't let him have his Tucker Kraft game against the Commanders, bro. Don't let that happen.
Nah, to be honest though, I'm the least worried about Genty because the Raiders can't run block for shit. I think if you stop them early, which the Commanders have been doing a decent job of, it's not like Josh Jacobs went crazy. We stuffed the Giants with no problem. So I'm very confident in Deron Payne and Kinlaw. And we got Preston Smith back this week. I'm very confident in our D-line versus their O-line. So for me, I would say the biggest key to this game winning is going to come on the defensive side, but it's got to be getting a turnover. No turnovers through the first 2 weeks of the game or the season is crazy. And now we're playing a turnover machine in Geno Smith, but he's got 4 picks through 2 games. I don't know if you got to see him Monday night. I know they played late because it was West Coast time, but he did not. I stayed up for all that game, bro. He was throwing in the team meetings left and right. The reporters even said that something was definitely off with Geno last week. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on the man's personal life, but they said something's not right. You know what I mean? They don't look like something's going right. So keep that momentum. Don't let Geno get his get right game over here on the East Coast. They got to get a pick or two off Geno because he will give you the opportunity. And then big plays, man. Big plays on the offensive side. I know it's looking like Jayden might not play. If Jayden does play or if Mariota plays, I kind of think it can go the same way. This Raiders defense, the secondary does not look good. They got Eric Stokes and a dude named Caillou out there at corner. Like any parents out there, they'll recognize the name Caillou as the little ball kid that everybody gets on everybody's nerves. So if Terry and Debo can't get off in this game, man, one of them got to go for 100. One of them got to go for 100 in this game. That Raiders secondary is Swiss cheese. I think they got Palomalu's like third cousin or brother from another, something like that. And then we all know Jeremy Chin is also out there in their secondary. Good at the line, not so good in coverage. So yeah, I expect some big plays, whether it's Mariota or Jayden. And to be honest, the more I think about it, Mariota used to play for the Raiders. So I mean, this is like a small revenge game in a way.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to ask you this question because my hope is that Mariota does not play. And I get that, like, it's trending right now. It's Thursday night, right? Dan Quinn said Jayden's got to practice to play. He's got to practice on Friday, right? I think Jayden's going to play, bro. That's what I'm leaning.
Yeah,
and I feel like most of like the local media is saying like expect Mariota. Might be a bit of a smokescreen. So you think Jayden will play?
Nah, it's exactly what you said. I think last year when he got hurt in the Bears game or whatever game it was that I think he got hurt in the Panthers game, and the lead up to the next game, I want to say they took it like down to the wire on if he was going to play. I want to say it was a situation where like Jake Glazer or Adam Schefter was reporting Sunday morning at 2 a.m. like Jayden's actually going to play type shit, you know? So I think it could be one of those situations where there's he's questionable, he's doubtful, something like that. And then late breaking news Sunday morning, 6 a.m., Jayden is going to play, at the last second. So I think most of it is a smokescreen, exactly like you said. I don't know why you really need to do it because it's not like Mariota and Jayden's style of play is crazy different to where, like, if I'm the Raiders, I'm probably preparing the same either way. Obviously, Jayden's a better quarterback, but it's not like the Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury are going to come out with a whole nother set of plays or line up in formations they don't line up in already. So.
Yeah, good point. Cliff, show me something this weekend, Cliff. I'm looking at you, bro. And Josh Connolly, I need a bounce back game, bro. I'm not giving up on Connolly yet. I went back and watched the film, and off the rewatch, it wasn't as bad as it felt during the game. Like I said, it really felt like he was getting beat like a drum during the game, but it never looked like a guy that was losing his confidence to me. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason I do rock with Connolly, bro. I feel like he's still out there giving it his all, and he still looks like a confident player. So I'm expecting a bounce back game for the O-line in general. And I heard some folks calling for Wiley to replace Connolly. I don't want to see that. Let's stick with our young pup. And this should be a get right game for the offense if Jayden plays.
Yeah, I mean, on the Connolly front, man, the rookie's got to take his lumps. Pause on this, but he took it on the chin against the Green Bay. Like, it's Micah Parsons, is what's the other dude? Gray. They got Van Ness coming in fresh. Every player that he lined up against was giving them some work, and they were all dogs. So I mean, welcome to the NFL is really what that was for Josh Connolly. And next week's not going to get any easier. You got Max Crosby, who notoriously likes to line up against the right tackle, and he's probably licking his chops right now. So Connolly's going to get trial by fire, just like a lot of these corners are coming up in a couple weeks when we start playing some of these other teams with these dog receivers. So,
facts. All right, let's get into some score predictions, bro. How you think the game ends? You think what's your prediction?
I want to say we're favored by like 4.5, 5.5. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Down to 3.5 now with the Jayden news.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was going down with Jayden going out, but I'm gonna take the Commanders, and I'm gonna take the Commanders by 6. I think we win. Honestly, maybe even more than 6, because Geno, I think the defense. If the defense looks like it looked week 1, and this is the hard part, because week 3 is when you can really start telling the real trends, right? Is our defense leaning more towards week 1 or leaning more towards week 2? I tend to think week 1, especially against a QB like Geno Smith. So actually, I'm going to take us by more than 6. I'm going to say Commanders win this one. I say Jayden plays. We drop 30-14 Commanders.
Yeah, you're making a really good point right there with like which way does the defense trend. And even if you look at that Packers game, like it was kind of a tale of two halves when it came to defense. You know what I'm saying? Like second half, once we finally started sending pressure, like we was getting after Jordan Love. So I'm with you there. I think we do meet that 3.5 spread. I got us winning by 4. I'm gonna go 24-20. Commanders victory. I think the thing that worries me the most is that speed on the outside for the Raiders. That young boy from Tennessee, he be getting off, bro. And I'm worried about our matchup with Marshawn Lattimore specifically. And I'm also a little concerned with Brock Bowers eating. I think tight ends are going to be a nightmare for this team all year. When we talk about Harrison coverage, Wagner in coverage, and then Louisville in coverage, that's our biggest.
Yeah, none of them can really cover. Like they're all well. Wagner and Louisville obviously have their strengths, bro, but coverage is not one of them. Watching that Green Bay tape, man, was very, very humbling to watch Louisville in coverage, bro. I'm like, man, like I don't want to send that guy every play, but that's where his strength definitely lies.
We should be sending that guy every play. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna go 24-20.
Oh, okay, so you think they're gonna score a little bit? Bowers is hurt. I think. I mean, he might be a little. It's a short week. When I was watching that Raiders game, man, he didn't look like the Brock Bowers from last year. I think that hammy is definitely bothering him. Those can normally linger, but yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, we're in trouble.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. So we'll probably be back with a wrap up pod, a review pod, sometime for y'all next week, man. Definitely check us out for that. In the meantime, stay tuned for Sports with a Culture every Tuesday, and make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Bryce, you got anything else?
Nah, man. Let's get a W, man. I don't want to call it a must win yet, but we gotta be 2-1 after the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, a loss would be ugly, man. A loss would have the next pod a little. We'll have a lot to talk about if it's a loss, but I don't foresee that coming, man. So we'll definitely see y'all next week with another dub. Stay tuned, man. As always, hell to the culture.
Hell to the culture.